Hi there, my name is Carrie Harper and I am the creator of the ABC method. The ABC method is what I call it now, but it's gone through a couple of different names. You might remember, or you might know me from like 2014 when I had what was called the flat belly system. At that time, it was a PDF with links for 3 videos that I sent to some friends to see if it would help them with their diastasis recti and core stability. That little PDF went worldwide and viral within a couple of months. And to my surprise, people all over the world started sending me their pictures and their stories of healing from diastasis recti. I recognized after I sent that out that it was not complete, that I had a lot of questions that I had not addressed in those 3 little videos. So then I completely moduled out a whole system, the Diastasis Recti recovery system that you might know from 2016. And that too has had tremendous success with women and men from all over the world that can access a full recovery program with me, even if we're not one-on-one. And of course, you might know me from my book, Flatten My Postpartum Belly, which is a bestseller on Amazon. So all of these things actually came together to be called the ABC method. And you'll find out tonight why I call it the ABC method. But here's the one thing that's been missing all these years that I have been teaching and training on diastasis recti, core stability, and core functionality. And that is that there are so many people in the fitness and wellness field that deserve the same information from this trademarked method so that they can then pass it on to their clients. And that's why I'm talking to you today. Can you imagine the ripple effect if an army of professionals can use this same method to help people recover from diastasis recti, core stability problems, core dysfunction, and also what's amazing is that it helps with things like pelvic floor. Let me show you a couple of things that I have prepared for you. So yes, you'll see here, this is the ABC method. We're going to walk through a couple of the points on the ABC method, and we are trademarked and ACE approved. What does that mean? The American Council on Exercise has approved this certification course for professionals to take with me and get 12 hours of continuing education credit toward their personal trainer or group exercise or weight management certification. It's very exciting. I'm very excited to be able to partner with ACE. They're the top of the exercise field. Okay, so what are we addressing here? We want to empower people to be strong to their very core. And if you are in the fitness field or in the wellness field, you've probably discovered at this point that the core of our body is attached to everything. So when our core feels healthy and strong, it has a lasting effect on the rest of our bodies. The opposite is also true. When our core feels unstable, it has a tremendous effect on every system in the body, all of our limb function, and the entire chain from top to bottom. So a lot of times we talk about this in postpartum. Women that have had children can have some diastasis or some core stability structure problems, also in pelvic floor. And what we're going to do in the ABC method that might be a little bit different from what you've learned before is that we want to make this a fitness integration system. In other words, it's not a system that you pull your client out of and teach it to them and ignore the rest of their fitness and wellness life. We want to integrate the brilliance that you already deliver to your clients and customers with this method so that it works together, so that our clients have better fitness, wellness, health results because everything is working together as one whole person. So what is diastasis recti? You might ask, you might be new to this topic. It is the division of the rectus abdominis. The rectus abdominis is the wall of muscle from ribs to hips down the front of the abdomen. And when it's developed, it looks like 6 or 8 small muscles attached down the middle with a nice little line called the linea alba. But that is not actually 6 or 8 muscles, it's actually one muscle. So when the muscle gets stretched in pregnancy, weight gain, or from heavy weightlifting, it actually can come open in the middle. And then when the event is over, the muscles don't necessarily come back together, pull back in, strengthen back up on their own. They actually need a recovery process in order for the muscle to be fully functional again. So that's what we're talking about here today. Here's a couple of examples at the bottom of some people that I have worked with that have had struggles with diastasis recti. And you can see the opening of the muscle in the center down the linea alba. You can see that a lot of times it leaves the muscles sort of hanging or falling out of the body. That can be very uncomfortable. You can see some of the separation, which means that underneath that separation, there is organ tissue and intestines that are not protected by the wall that they're typically protected by. This can cause hernias, this can cause other dysfunction, back problems, digestion problems, pelvic floor problems, which can lead to bowel problems and incontinence. All of this can be a problem, and also that the core is attached to the legs and the arms. We can actually see a full chain of events happen. I'm about to hit you with a bunch of stats here. And if you're interested in these stats, then I can send you this slide. But I find some of these stats very interesting, and I can tell you from a practitioner standpoint and the people that I have talked to that the numbers are perhaps much higher than this. The reason that the numbers are probably higher than this is that this term, diastasis recti, is not used very often in the medical field. So people are not questioned about it. So there's not any data around a lot of the population around the world as to whether or not it's an issue for them. But here's the stats for the data that we do have. So 60% of postpartum women that go through a diagnostic products at week 6 after having a baby have a level of diastasis. Usually the practitioner is going to be a midwife or a more holistic practitioner because it's not part of a medical postnatal checkup. 24% of postpartum women are diagnosed with pelvic floor dysfunction. Again, this is a very low number in comparison to what I find in the field, that almost 100% of women that have been pregnant have some level of pelvic floor dysfunction. They have incontinence, they have bowel issues, or pain in their pelvic floor. So these questions aren't asked very often, and a lot of times they're just not addressed until it becomes a more serious medical issue. Our goal is to not have it be a more serious medical issue. There's an interesting issue in men. So first of all, men that gain a lot of weight around the center of their body can also have diastasis recti, because men tend to gain adipose tissue underneath the muscle, where women gain adipose tissue on the outside of the muscle. So if men are gaining the adipose, the fat tissue under the muscle, it's pushing the muscle out, which can cause diastasis recti. And this number, there's a condition called AAA. It's an aortic dysfunction in the heart. 65% of men diagnosed with that dysfunction have diastasis recti as well. Wow. 15% of just the general population, approximately, if you take all of these pieces together, have some level of diastasis recti. And if it's never touched and it's never addressed postpartum or at any time, we're talking about people in, over 55, like the silver sneakers era, can still have diastasis recti that has gone completely unaddressed for most of their lives. 32% of postpartum women have diastasis 1 year. And I think that number is also low because there's not really that year checkup where a lot of women are really checked for it. And the most recent research for people that are checking for diastasis during pregnancy have found that almost 100% of pregnancies have a level of diastasis by week 36. So if women are making it to full term, it's almost assured that there's going to be an issue there. Okay, so what is the ABC method? Well, I like this little graphic with the pyramid, the triangle, because this is what we do. We have this base of the ABC method. We have this structure that's like the slab of your house as the ABC method that addresses these deep issues. And once you address them, then putting a healthy lifestyle and fitness on top allows a person to have a more stable, healthy, well-rounded life. If we take off that slab, if we take off the ABC method, then having a healthy lifestyle and fitness is great, but it could be shaky if there is core instability and dysfunction involved. So here's what we do. And I'll just kind of, beyond this slide, I'll kind of talk you through what the certification process is going to look like. I know a lot of certification processes send you through pre-recorded information and books. This is so special and so important and vital to each type of trainer and instructor and coach that I want the time to be spent together. So we will actually go through the method together. And right now we are in quarantine times in America. So they're going to be virtual, where we're going through the process of the ABC method. And we're talking through your body, your clients' bodies, your fitness regimen, and how everything integrates together to make a better experience for your client. So we talk about how to diagnose these different issues in a non-medical way. We talk about the therapy that has to go behind it. So a lot of the exercises that we learn feel more like therapy to our clients than the hardcore kind of stuff. And these little therapy exercises are so beneficial that I would not want your clients to miss out on that. And then we add the fitness to it. So when you start getting these therapy exercises and then you start bringing in fitness that you know, then it starts to make so much sense as to how to address each person as a special individual, even if you're teaching group exercise. It's true. You can take a group exercise class and you can gear things in that class to make that new mom or that person that's postpartum or that person struggling successful in your class and be on their way to healing and recovery. The other wonderful thing that I want to do with this certification is not just those 2 days that we'll spend together face to face, going through the method, talking through all of the things, making it right for you, but progress. So getting together on a regular basis where we do continuing education and talk through some of the latest things that I discover. Because the more I work in this method, the more I learn in this method. And I just have a feeling that you will too. And it will be great to have a community where we can share progress and updates with each other and talk through real-time client help and results. So I just wanted to show you a couple of my friends and how this method has worked for them. You can see here that they've gone through many different issues with diastasis recti and core trouble, and going through the ABC method with me directly has led to not only aesthetically pleasing results, but just feeling better and feeling like they can achieve and move forward in their fitness life. And of course, I have some reviews from the book. I have physical therapists all over the country that have my book in their office and loan it out. And lots of people have talked about various things, and sometimes they're surprising to me. I had one client tell me once that the meditation that I taught in my book helped her with flight anxiety, like on an airplane. And I thought that was so interesting. I had a client that called me from the Philippines, and you might have heard this story before because it shocked me. I was not expecting to hear from someone from the Philippines, for one. For two, that she really like chased me down to talk to me. And then I was like, should I be afraid? But when I talked to her, it was, thank you for saving my life. I've been wearing a diaper for 13 years. 13
Oh my gosh.
years. And it wasn't just number one, it was number two. So after 6 weeks, no more diapers. That to me is empowerment. So this is what we do. We get together over a weekend. We go through the entire structure of how I have helped people and how it would apply to your business or your coaching or your training or your field. We talk about implementation, and then we have continuing education. And like I said, it's ACE approved for 12 hours of continuing education. And this is my information should you need to get a hold of me. Of course, wherever it is that you're seeing this recording, you can just leave a note or hit the messenger button and send me your questions about it. But right now I'm going to take some live questions if we have any from the call. So do I have any live questions from the call?
So Carrie, one
Yes.
of the questions that I have in terms of the ABC method, I guess.
Oh, sorry. I just lost you for a second. Go ahead.
One of the questions that I have in terms of the ABC method is that, I mean, it's a method that both can be applied for men and women, correct?
100%. Yes. It helps men and women, and it helps all age groups.
Okay. The other thing is that I have a bunch of friends who have become CrossFitters. And I know that there's been a surge in core injury due to CrossFit. So I'm wondering that, like, down the road, like as we go through the ABC method, will the ABC method become like as we go through the certification process, may you have other people who become certified in that method and then be able to teach it at, I don't know, other places?
CrossFit, boot camp, HIIT training, all the things. Absolutely. And that is so 100% the idea behind how I want to approach this, because I see what you see, that there is an increase in injury for different kinds of Olympic weight training or different kinds of hardcore lifting, and it doesn't have to be that way. So I really do want to empower instructors to be able to integrate the method where to prevent issues and also to help with rehabilitation for issues. And all of that can happen within one working space. And imagine the clients, how much better they're going to feel with that empowerment of preventative medicine and recovery from an issue without having to like completely take time off from their CrossFit or completely take time away. Everything could be adjusted and modified to help any audience. All right, any other questions that I didn't address today? No? Does that cover everything?
Yeah, for me, it's very, I don't know, self-explanatory.
I think you did a great job,
Yeah.
Carrie. That was very, like, yeah.
Especially like the module part, like with the differences of the diagnosis and the therapy and the progress and all of that. Yeah.
Great. Well, I so look forward to this. I cannot wait to spend the time with you and to get to go through this with you as a group, and then see the amazing things that it does for people. Hi, family. Well, thanks everyone for listening today. If you have any further questions, reach out to me.